Hi, it's Pam here. Now, if you watched last week's tutorial on Flodesk, I showed you how easy it was to connect it to Canva. It was so good, and my students loved it. Now, this week, I'm going to share with you how easy it is to create your own email ready to go out and send. And all the links will be in the description below, and if you missed last week's tutorial, I'll have it at the end. So what are you waiting for? Let's get into this week's Flodesk tutorial. Okay, so last week I did a tutorial on how to set up your opt-in forms, which was super simple. If you haven't watched that, I'll have the link in the description below. Today we're going to go through setting up your branding and then how you can create your own email layout. And then once you've created one that you like, especially if you have a regular newsletter, then all you have to do, like I've done, is duplicate it and then change whatever you want to do. So you can use one of the existing templates if you don't want to start from scratch, and I'll show you where to find those, or you can start from scratch if you have an idea of how you want to do it, but it's a lot easier if you set up your branding first. So if you go to if you go to the drop down here and you come down, you'll see the word branding. Click on that. And this is where you can upload. You can have a photo of yourself, you can have your initials, whatever your logo is or whatever you want to be on the new email that you set up. Obviously you can change it as you go. You may even want the logo to be down the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to move everything around. And then you want to put in your brand colors, so it's all there for you, easy to be able to use over and over again. If you have a brand font, you can put those there, and your company details and also your social media handles, so that it is all set up for you when you go to drag and drop what you want onto your email. So this is what mine looks like. I'm just going to go in. I've got two separate ones. I started off with this one with a big image, and then I created a second one because I'm in the middle of launching my new school for Canva lovers in October. So I'm getting pre-registrations, which is what the form was for. And then you can see when you edit it on the inside, this is what it looks like. So that's an image, that's a button. And when you click on each one, you can see how you can change it. If I wanted the button to be round on the edges, I could do that. I could change the color, and my branding colors are there. I can position it middle, right, left. Border sizing, if I wanted a different color border, and the thickness of the border. So you can change that as well, and the width and the height. So, and then the font that you want to have on the button, and then the link where you're sending them to, and the block here. If you want a white background, you can have a color background plus the padding for above and below the button. So each one is going to get a different pop-up, and if you want to move things around, it's super easy. So if I wanted the button to go up the top, I can move that down, and then automatically the button's at the top and put it back where it was. Okay, and then you've got the text segment here. You can have multiple fonts. You can have regular, you can have it bold, semi-bold, depending on the fonts that you have. I obviously have multiple fonts in there. And then if you want to highlight a specific word, then you just can bold it. And you can click on the color that you want it to be, and then you can hyperlink to where you want it to go. It's all pretty self-explanatory, especially if you have used an email platform below. But today, and then obviously I've got my social media handles here and my unsubscribe down the bottom. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you where you can find, so I'll go back to Flodesk, where you can find the templates if you don't want to start from scratch, or you can go and choose one. So you can click on the new email button here, and when you click on it, you've got all these options. So these are everything that they have. Browse all, and you can scroll down and see what's available. If you're sharing news, if it's a welcome sequence, if you're wanting to make money, if you want to say thank you, inspire, plain text, or start from scratch. Now, a lot of people don't have any visuals. I come from a very visual niche. I'm teaching Canva. And the good news is, as I taught you last week, is it now connects to Canva. But if you are not in a visual niche and you just want to do a newsletter where all it is text and hyperlinks, then just choose the plain text and then you can add more to it, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And if you're in an inspirational, say you sell journals or you're in that motivational space, then you just come down and find one here that you like. And even if there's only a few features, like I kind of really like having the image on the side there and the text and then maybe just your URL at the top. If you find one that's sort of got bits that you like, then you just grab that one first. Like I really love this one with the font like this. Then you just grab the one you want and then you can change it and tweak it as you go. But for this tutorial, we're going to do it as if we're starting from scratch. So what you do is you come down to the bottom and you click on Start from Scratch, give it a name, and I'm going to just go example. And then I'm just going to go save because I'm going to delete this afterwards. All right, so automatically, because I've got my branding, it has brought that in, but I might want to move that down to the bottom instead of having it at the top because I'm going to have a banner. So I'm just going to move it down to where I want it to be, and I'll probably have it maybe just down there. Perfect. Okay, so now it's above there, and then here I would want these to be my logo colors. So my branding is there. See how my branding is popping up already? I just say I want those to be pink, and that's perfect. That can stay. I might want that to be a little bit darker gray, so I can make that just a little, use the one that's here, make that a little bit darker gray, the same as my fonts. And then you can, this is where you can come in and start changing. Now, if you find out, once you get your analytics, which I found out this week when I sent out some of my warm-up emails, that most of my women were reading their emails on their mobile phone. I never read my emails on my own mobile phone. I don't even know how to opt into it because I never use my mobile phone, so I use mine on desktop. But knowing that means that I would probably want to make sure that my font is no lower than 14 points. So when you're conscious of what your list is using to read your notifications or emails, then especially if you target the over 40 like I do, I might even make it 16 just to make it so that they're not squinting to be able to read my email. All right, so you can change the font, and then if you want to add different things, then you can have a plus. So here at the top here, I probably want to put a banner or some sort of image. So you click on the plus button, and then all the drop-down options of what you can add appear. So you can have an image, you can have a layout, like some of the layouts we saw in the templates at the beginning. You can have a video. If you click on video, it only works if you have Vimeo or YouTube, and it has to be a public-facing video. The other option you can do is just to change it to a image, and then you can send it. Like I can create a video in Canva and I can share the public view link in Canva. I don't even have to host it anywhere, and then all I would do then is add a photo. So I'd add an image, and see, then when you click on the image, I can edit that image. Now this is where I showed you last week. You can either upload from my computer, or I can open up Canva directly and add my design, and I can go and choose something. Say I was talking, this is my design here. I can choose page to import, which I showed you last week, and this is the one, import image. And then that would be my image at the top, and then I could hyperlink it to the video, which would either be on my YouTube or my Canva. And then you just click on that, and then you click on link, and then you will put the link in there. So now we've got a picture at the top, we've got our text, and then if you've got a button that you want to link, I always am sending them somewhere, you can have that, and I'll show you all the different things that I have on mine. But if you need a button, then you can put a button there, you can change the font on the button, you can change the color, because I like them solid, so I want it to be the pink, and then I would just make my font in the white, like that. and then that would be mine, and then I would just go and add the link to where I want it to go. And then you can have the link actions. So yes, you can attach actions to them as well. So they're the main things that you're going to use. And then you can just click whenever you want to add another section. If you want to put your address, a countdown. Now countdowns are popular, especially if you're doing a launch. Pick this one and then I'll go timer. I have to choose which type of timer I want. And then the link where I want them to go. Okay, and then you can obviously go and rebrand it. I haven't played with this yet, so I have to go and have another play. But if you're doing a launch and there's a countdown, this is really, really important, and you can have different things that you want it to do. So they're the main things that you can have. I've done it twice, so I'll get rid of that. And then you can just drag and drop, and then when you're happy with it, you just go preview so you know what it looks like on mobile. If you don't think that it's going to look good on mobile with an image, you can take the image off as well. So you can choose whether it's only going to be on the desktop or whether it's going to be on mobile as well. And then go back to editing, and then when you're happy with it, you go next. And then who's this email coming from? Then you give your name and what your obviously email address is that you signed up with, and then you go continue, and then write your subject line. So this is what's they're going to receive in the subject, and then what the preview text is going to be for this specific email. And then you go continue, and then you can choose your recipients and add them to a segment. Add individuals, upload a CSV if you're sending it to a new list that you haven't uploaded yet, but I would have a segment, and then go save, and then go continue. There's 68 recipients, and then I can send now, or I can schedule it, and you can put it into schedule. And it's very, very important that you send yourself a test so that you know that it looks okay. And then if it doesn't look okay, or you want to double check that you haven't made any mistakes and all the links are working properly, then you go send test now. And then if you have to make any tweaks, and then once it's done, then you schedule it and it will go out at the time that you've sent. And then once you've finished that and it's all done, and you come back to your emails, then now I've got this new template here, and I can put it to a folder. Like I can add it to a folder, and it can go to my warm-up or create a new folder, and I'll just go tutorial. And then it will go in there. And then it's there for you to find, and then you can keep using it again. If you love this layout, then all you have to do is you just duplicate it next time you want to do an email, and you can also archive them after they've been sent. And that's how easy it is for you to create your own email template ready for you to get and start using in Flodesk.